AI is bigger and more profound revolution than transistors, PCs, biotech, the internet, or cloud computing.
Get ready for a new episode of KP Talks Dollars and Cents. Learn financial literacy and get real-time updates on all things housing, finance, and real estate. So let's get started. Here's your host, Kevin Perenio.
KP coming to you live from Corona, California. Happy National Canada Day. And just a couple minutes before midnight here. We're a few days before our nation's birthday in America, where we will be 248 years young. And the U.S. men's national soccer team rewarded us with a loss and being bounced out of Copa America as they lost 1-0 to Uruguay, or for my non-Spanish speaking friends in Texas, where I'm from, Uruguay. So we're out. What's going on in our world? Well, it's kind of a short, low volume week in the stock markets, and it includes the bond market. So we're watching the 10-year Treasury shoot up. Now, there's some activity with this low volume going on. The dollar's strong. The yen is getting crushed, and there's something called the carry trade. And people have been able to trade in their currency in their local countries for years, and then, as the dollar strengthens, use that carry and make the arbitrage spread. It's like this thing that gets, done for decades. Well, the Japanese yen is under attack. They need to protect their currency, and so they're selling U.S. Treasuries, which is putting upward pressure on the yield, which is making mortgage interest rates worse. Now, that could, of course, reverse course. This is Jobs Week. So not only is it our nation's birthday on July 4th, and one of the most amazing reasons we spent all spring purchase season putting families into houses so they can enjoy this weekend, watching the Tour de France or Copa America or the Euro Cup, all things not American. Of course, there is baseball. There's an all-star game, I believe, and, NHL draft and NBA draft, all the stuff that's going on right now. But putting someone in a house so they could celebrate with their family, barbecue, cookout, grill, maybe there's a pool, all the above. It's a great week. It's a big reason why we do what we do. And it's a little chance for a breather here. We are officially closed Thursday and Friday at PRMG, and I know a lot of other companies are. And so, but I will try and get a video out on Friday because it's Jobs Week. And so it is still an important week. The Bureau of Labor Statistics puts out on the first Friday of the month, typically, the jobs report for the prior month. So June jobs report will be out. And I think the estimates had something like 170,000, anywhere from 170 to 200,000 in June. And that would be up from 152,000 in May. That's a big report coming out. It tells the unemployment rate. It talks about what sectors are creating jobs. There's always revisions for prior reports. I think the last report had something like 292,000 jobs created. So we'll see. JOLTS, job opening labor turnover report. The job opening report, we had like 2 jobs open for every unemployed person back at our peak a couple years ago. And we'll see if we are under 8 million job openings. That's a future sign. Gone from like 12.2 down to around 8 million job openings, and the less job openings, the weaker and softer the labor market is getting. Unemployment rate is part of the report on Friday. We have jobless claims that come out this week. That's been trending higher. The 4-week average has been around 233,000, and they rose to 236 last week. And then Fed Chair Powell speaks tomorrow. Jerome Powell speaks. And then the minutes from the last meeting are released on Wednesday. So lots going on, can totally move the market. We had a huge lock day today, just because there's been a couple days in a row where rates have gotten worse. And I think a lot of originators decided, you know what, I can't chance it to get any worse than this. And so they locked. So we'll see where the 10-year ends up. Let me go look at my chart here on good old MBS Highway. My chart of the 10-year, just looking at, I wish I could share a screen with you, I would. But remember, we have like this lower highs, okay? So if we had a chance to look at this chart going back a little bit longer, we saw rates get up to around 462, the 10-year Treasury. And before that, the high was like around 470. And then, of course, back in October, we're at 4.99. So we have these little spikes up and down, but the peak is lower, so lower highs. So will we retest the May 30th number at 462? I don't know. We'll see this week, but something to keep an eye on. Okay, what else is going on? We changed our VA guidelines. As of August 10th, VA loans, when you serve veterans, remember deployment, it's the first D of the 7 Ds we talk about, deployment, diamonds, diapers, debt, divorce. I like to joke debt again after that. Downsizing and death, those are the 7 Ds. If you are a veteran and you sign a contract and get a VA loan after August 10th, on or after August 10th, if your sales contract is signed, as part of that transaction, you could negotiate for your buyer's agent's commission to be paid for by the seller or by you. And so VA changed their guidelines, and so we did as well. So I just want to update that. The NAR settlement goes into effect August 17th. So VAs get out in front of that for contracts signed before that. Our good friends at Zactus, you notice my logo here. I got a cool email from someone on their team the other day. They wanted to remind me that starting August 4th, Freddie Mac will require trended data for all LP. If you're running Loan Prospector, they will require trending data on their credit reports. And not just new credit reports, but reissues. So I think they began accepting that data as of June 24th, but they will be required as of August 4th. And Zactus is one of our two big major credit partners here, and they're ready. So hopefully you're ready too. Okay, let's talk about the Fed just a little bit. The Fed has gone from an 8.5 to a $6.8 trillion balance sheet. Okay, so their balance sheet is coming down. GDP is going up. And yes, our debt and deficit isn't great, but our economy has been expanding. And it's always interesting when I hear people, when they make a comment about our debt, they never talk about the other side of the ledger, which is the revenue side. Our economy has been growing. What is our GDP output today? So it was some number like, it's $28 trillion. That's our current GDP. That's up just from a year ago. It was 26 trillion. Pre-COVID, I think it was like 19 trillion. So a 28.27, a $28 trillion economy that is growing. If our debt is a certain percentage of that, it's a certain percentage of a bigger economy, which is why there's some justification, at least from the Treasury Department, that, they keep issuing more treasuries and can't, balance a budget and keep looking at things 10 years out. And then, of course, it gets worse. I digress. But the Fed is reducing its balance sheet and our economy is growing. But how much is it growing? So we saw the final Q1 read was 1.4%. The Atlanta Fed just put out a note that they said the Q2 GDP estimate is 1.7%. That's down from a 3% previously forecasted. That is a slowing economy. Now, the Fed put out an estimate of 2.2% for the second quarter. That's April, May, and June. We just finished. We don't have those numbers out yet. But remember, we always talk about our tri-mandate, okay? The legislation as it reads requires the Fed to, quote, promote goals of maximum employment, which we'll find out on Friday, stable prices, that's inflation, which we found out last week. It's still falling like a rock, 2.6%. And moderate long-term interest rates. Can we sell our treasuries? Do people want to buy our treasuries as opposed to sell them like Japan's doing? If we cut rates, if the Fed begins to cut rates, which the odds of a September rate are pretty high, or a rate cut are pretty high at the September meeting, not necessarily the July meeting. Will that be because the economy is slowing and labor market is weakening and softening? And that's not a great thing. So then there's a flight to safety, right? So maybe stocks don't do as well and people start to want to make sure they don't lose money. So they put money in a safe asset like the U.S. Treasury. Okay. very cool couple things here. Jan Hatzius, Goldman Sachs chief economist, brilliant guy, said our labor market is at an inflection point. I think that is, we are a potential inflection point. There is a kind of like a tech writer. She puts out like this thing. Her last name is Meeker, Meeker. I saw a clip on Axios. I read an article real quick, and she puts out something like every 3 years. And she was talking about, this is interesting about AI. AI is bigger and more profound revolution than transistors, PCs, biotech, the internet, or cloud computing. She wrote, it's almost as if the first 30 years of internet was to build up data sets that now can be optimized. I thought that was a very interesting take. There are 6 companies with a market cap over $1 trillion. We know between Nvidia and Microsoft and Apple, they're all over $3 trillion market cap. Amazon went over $2 trillion. Obviously, they host Amazon Web Services, and we know Google, Tesla, all these AI companies are over $1 trillion, and they are leading the way in AI. Thanks for watching my Tesla video on my driving last week. Got quite the attraction. Maybe I'll have to drive more often and show you guys how crazy I am on the road. But that is AI in action. Meeker said that in the past 6 decades, each new computing cycle that has happened happens 2 times faster than the prior cycle, which means that's measured by like, is there 50% adoption or more? So how much quicker will we adopt AI? 50% of users. Well, I think with Apple enabling OpenAI accounts on all iPhones, I think that's a huge way to get it out there, right? What else is some good news? But by the way, each computing cycle is 5 to 10 times bigger than the last. So that's how big AI is getting. So if you wonder why stocks like Nvidia are running, not a financial advisor, I'm not responsible for your losses, only your profits, but that's something there. Okay, one last thing. I thought it was very cool. Warren Buffett, one of our great American treasurers here on July 4th week, he's got a ton of money, and he has 3 kids, and he was going to commit a bunch of his wealth to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I think those 2 split. So he's like, yeah, I'm just going to do my own charitable trust. So it's a $76 billion foundation for the Gates Foundation, but Warren Buffett has $127 billion that he will be leaving. He's getting his affairs in order. So I think he's like 95, 96. And his partner, Charlie Munger, passed earlier this year. They created Berkshire Hathaway, another stock that I've owned since 2004. I am not a financial advisor, but great one to be in. Just saying, the B shares, not the A shares. I'm a minority shareholder here, not the founder. But $127 billion, and Warren Buffett's 3 children must all agree in unison. So get along, kids. I got 4. I don't know if that would work if I left them a few $100 if they could all 4 vote on the same thing. But $127 billion at the power of the 3 children of Warren Buffett. I think they're in their 70s, his children, and at least the oldest one is 70. And they must vote in unison on what to do. And it's a very interesting write-up to see, they each have different interests. Some is, taking care of towns and history. Some is border control. I mean, there's just different takes on what they're doing. $127 billion left behind. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Have a happy July 4th. It is the last couple days for someone out there with 10 fingers, and I hope it's not you. Be safe out there. Have a great one. Cheers.
Hey, it's KP coming to you from Newport Beach in the Tesla. I had so much fun with this video last week. I'm going to give you some more AI. But it's Jobs Friday. We are closed at PRMG today, although I've had a couple calls and a ton of emails. And I'm about to go meet Ron Frazier and Scott Sanderson, his CIO Atlas Title. Ron is the CEO and founder of Atlas Title. You may know Grant Marple, James and Josh Tyndall, Phil Sperling. Great group over there. Friday afternoon, they invited me to go catch around with them. So great stuff on social media, by the way. So look up for Atlas Title. Okay, here we go. I promise you a little little AI. So we're going to pull this back twice, which engages Autopilot, and it's telling me to apply steering pressure. You can see that. It's looking. You know, I would have gunned it by now. Look how safe it is. It's so annoying. Anyway, I'm going to let it roll, and there's a lot of stoplights here and stop signs, so it'll mess up. So any Tesla Elon haters, you're going to like my video. You know, one of the number one jobs in, like, I think it's either 26 or 29 states, I mentioned this a year ago, is truck driver. And there's a shortage of truck drivers. So you think AI isn't going to come in here? Oh, by the way, look at this. See the little bicyclist right here? There's a guy on a bicycle. There's the guy on the bicycle. And then there's the cars screaming across, and it's on the screen. I don't know if you can see all that. It's kind of cool. And of course, Ron is calling me. He's like, bro, we tee off in 60 minutes. Where are you? That's what I do. But anyway, so the unemployment rate went up to 4.1%, even though the job survey came in higher. So the household survey has been lower than the establishment survey. Look at this. I got a green light. It's afraid to go. I had to give it a little gas because I saw this guy creeping, and now it wants me to touch the wheel. Employment rate up to 4.1%. That's where the Fed on their last dot plot projected the end of the year. June. Halfway through the year, we're at 4.1%. And by the way, that data is in from like the middle of June. Watch this. I'm going to go up. I want my speed limit up to 35. I'm going to give a little gas because I'm in a hurry. It's a very safe car. 4.1% was the max of where the dot plot from the Fed thought they would be. Look at this. There's a pedestrian right here walking, and one walking. And it doesn't even do California stops. It does actual real stops where it stops completely, which is super annoying to other Californians who don't ever stop. Literally, it's called the California stop because they don't stop at stop signs. Anyway, so unemployment rate is up, even though the job number, headline number, came in a little higher than expected, over 200,000 jobs, but a couple prior months were revised down, which has been the trend to revise prior months down. So jobs weeks over, 10-year Treasury is lower. I didn't look at the weekly chart. I don't think it's quite as low as where it started the week, but the trend is your friend. The 10-year Treasury has been coming down consistently since October, which means interest rates have been coming down. And if you follow Logan Motoshami, he did a great job today talking about the 2-year note, which I haven't talked about in a while. But the 2-year yield on the Treasury is indicative of where people think the Fed funds rate will go, because it's a shorter term Treasury. It's a note. It's only 2 years. It also goes lower when smart money, institutional investors, bond traders, by the way, it's just stopping. I'm hands-free. There's cars going everywhere. I'm just talking. We're hanging out. Does that freak you out? It's coming. It's all coming. I'm telling you, AI. It's the best use of AI there is. Hands down. I know some of us have Autopilot, Copilot, or whatever for Microsoft, but this is the best AI in use right now on the planet, in my opinion. Maybe there's some stuff I don't know about with the military. So look, you know, our inflation's coming down, unemployment is softening, and those are all signs of a weakening economy, which is why the 2-year yield is coming down. And so if you're at 4.6 on a 2-year, and the Fed funds rate is from 5.25 to 5.5, that's pricing in about almost a point in cuts. Let's call it 75 basis points. So it'll be interesting, you know, in the September meeting to see the next dot plot, which now even Elliot Eisenberg, bow tie economist, a lot of us follow him, is calling for a cut in September. Okay, look at all these cars on the screen, and they're all out there. It's funny, like you see the truck way in the background. There's like a big truck out there. It's even knows that it's 2. It's crazy. I mean, this stuff is insane. And then watch this. So I'm in this kind of a weird section. So that lane over there goes straight. This one's left turn only. So, and this one right next to me is right turn only. So this thing will like kind of dial it in and jog over right here. It does want me to touch the wheel, so I am. And we have a green light, which is good. So there we go. We're driving, hands free. This guy cut me off, so we slowed down just a smidge. Now we're keeping pace. I want to go faster. Let's go. Come on. Don't be late to the tea time. Ron will murder me. 40 mile per hour speed limit. Let's go 45. I'll even do a lane change here. So what else is going on? Weekend economy, yields coming down, rates improving. It is the back half of the year. It is July. It's a slower month, although lock pipelines have been up for most lenders in the last couple months as we finish up spring peak purchase season. What else? CPI next week on Thursday. Big inflation print. It's kind of nice. We get two big inflation reads. Look at this. This guy stopping. I'm not stopping. Wants me to touch the wheel. Okay, I got it. So CPI and PPI next week. Big inflation numbers. Will they validate a cut in September? Or does it fall so fast that people start to bring July back into conversation? Eventually to see on Monday what the Fed Fund futures rate holds. And then at the end of the week, next Friday after September and, after PPI and CPI, look at that, yellow light. But no, I'm going to press the gas because I'm in a hurry. I'm running it. Anyway, it's not a gas. It's an accelerator. My bad, EV fans. So kudos to the Biden administration and President Biden for filing the National End Parkinson's bill. My father passed 3.5 years ago due to complications of Parkinson's. His birthday is Tuesday, July 9th. He would have been 82. And there's very few legislation getting passed by this Congress and combination of Congress and, and administration. But into Parkinson's bill had passed. So love to see that go through. More research dollars from a federal level being allocated to that. It's nice to see that. There's a lot of people in this audience that's connected to me that are have elderly parents or family members or friends that have dealt with or are dealing with Parkinson's. That's great news. Anyway, I wanted to take my family on Tuesday, on my dad's birthday, to a Rangers game. So the Rangers are in town playing the Angels, and watch this, by the way. I'm full with like Elon would never program his car to do this, but I did a little, because I'm in a hurry. Again, sorry, Ron. I know I'm late. I should be there in about 5 minutes. There you go. Look, go. Hit the accelerator, fastest car on the planet. Anyway, by the way, I was going 67 right there. So my dad used to take me to Rangers games, Nolan Ryan games, the best when he was pitching growing up. So I'm taking 4 kids and wife to a Rangers game on Tuesday on my dad's birthday. Kind of cool. Hope everyone had a wonderful July 4th, celebrated the hell out of some freedom with some fireworks. I'm on day 10, no alcohol, feeling great, getting good sleep. Maybe I'll actually play good golf for a change today on a Friday when we're closed because I'm not having any cocktails, and I didn't even bring anything like a cigar. Had a wonderful 4-day weekend for those that have it. Cheers.
You've been listening to KP Talks Dollars and Cents, a top-rated show for those who want to learn about the economy and mortgage environment. Tune in each week for more episodes, and please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Kevin Perenio does not render or offer to render personalized investment or tax advice through KP Talks Dollars and Cents. The information provided is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, tax, investment, or legal advice. For more info, follow KP Talks Dollars and Cents on all of our social channels.